Good morning, everybody. We are live. I am me. She is her. She's not here yet, but she's downstairs. She's coming up. She's actually been working. There she is. Hello, beautiful. She has actually worked. I don't even know what time it is. Well, yes, I do. She's been working for 3 or 4 hours already while I was sleeping. That's how awesome she is. And she'll tell you what she wants to tell you about that here in a minute. She's walking in right now. Everybody who's in here early, you guys make my day. That's amazing. The Sugar Nuts in the house. A half hour early. Wow, thank you so much. Alyssa in the house, Hitchhiking Bones in the house, Dean Bancroft in the house. There she is, my friend and my member of the channel, our member of the channel. Excuse me, Bloom and Cheese in the house. Alyssa, I think I said hi to already. Hello. Make It Blue, Caitlin's in the house. What's going on? Big Disney fan. Hello, how are you?
A Red Bull watermelon
Is it really?
Slushy.
Really?
You should try it.
I don't even know if I like it. Sandy North's in the house. What's going on? Welcome in. I so appreciate you guys being here. I got to be honest. Waking up, Jay Skywalker still has a better last name than me. Thanks for being a member in the house. My mom in the house. What's going on? No, Sandy, I can't. Can you believe it's June 1st? I was going to talk about that a little bit today.
It's crazy.
Crazy. I can't explain how it feels good to come on, to start the stream, to pop up chat and see people already there. It just blows me away. So thank you guys. Okay, so this is what? This is a watermelon Red Bull?
It's a Red Bull watermelon slushy, I guess. It's a Sonic. It was free on the app today. So I never drink like energy drinks, but it was free on the app. So I thought, okay, yeah, I'll try it. And since I've been up since like 4,
wow,
it's not bad.
I mean, I like the taste.
I haven't had coffee. So.
I used to drink Red Bulls and those drinks, Monster drinks and all that. I read too much about them. I'm a little anti. I don't want my heart going boom, 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 boom. But whatever. Joey's World. Hey, it's Joey's World in the house. What's going on, my friends? How are you? Candy Mom in the house. What's going on? Listening ninja style. I like it, ninja style. So I appreciate all of you being in the house. Today's a big day. The weekend was a crazy weekend. We personally had a great weekend. I had a great weekend. Boy, America had a weird weekend. I would say to you, this weekend was as bad as the pandemic. It was horrible and disgusting, and it broke my heart. And this is going to be a little piece of positivity, I hope. So we're going to talk about it. Now, last week we had a weekly theme, Disney Vacation Club. We talked about it all week. I thought it really went well. I liked it. We do have a whole playlist of videos coming out. I was hoping they'd be out today. I've got some ideas on how to spruce them up. So it might be a today thing. It might even be a next week thing. I want to get them right, not get them out fast because there's no rush. But I'm excited about it. And the idea of this weekly show or this morning show is now going to have a theme in the morning. We'll see. Things are up to change. But this week's theme is going to be Disney parks and what we love about Disney parks. We're going to take one every day, and today's going to be Disneyland, and that's going to be fun. It's my favorite park in my heart. It's not my favorite park to go to, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I wanted to, and a couple more people popped in. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here. Smash the like button, all those things. But you've had a busy morning. Like, as I slept and snored and drooled, you went to work.
Yeah.
We've been talking about camp a lot, if you're a regular, and most of you are, and I appreciate that. Our kid is at camp, which I'm confused by, but you were getting kids ready for this camp that my kid's already been at? Like, I'm confused.
Because our kid is a counselor, one of the adult volunteers.
I know that.
At the camp. Well, she's been there for a few days getting set up, doing sound checks.
So the kid, okay. So the kids have not arrived.
Decorating their rooms because each group has their theme, their different countries, so their bedding and their bunks are decorated to match. Like India
I didn't realize they were getting there before the kids were.
Yes, they're there 3 days before
Very cool.
the kids.
Very cool.
So
that totally makes sense.
This morning we had to get there super early. We had 4 big buses that we loaded up with very excited kids, and they're heading down to South Texas.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited about it. We need some positivity in the world. I'm watching some looting on my TV as we speak. It's obviously recorded. Saturday was bad. Friday night was bad. Saturday was bad. But this is, I don't know if this is just going to be our getaway or our Fantasyland or whatever. But I am so glad that we have awesome, positive things to do. This breaks my heart. Disney needs to reopen for a bunch of reasons. But we got to get back to normal. People are on edge. Like, what do you think is going to happen when people sit around all day long? Like, people are going to go crazy. And boy, do we not have proof of that. So we're talking about Disneyland today. Tomorrow we'll talk about DCA, Disney California Adventure. And then the next 4 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll take the 4 Orlando parks, but today we're going to start with Disneyland. It's my favorite park, and here's why. Disneyland is the original. You know, that I got to grow up and walk the park meant a lot to me because it was just Disney and I was fun, and when I was a kid it was just the best time. Now as an adult, when I go back, it's more about the nostalgia of it.
Yes.
More about the Walt walked here. I never got to see Walt. You know, he passed away before I was born, unfortunately. But knowing that that's his light in Main Street, like there's something about Disneyland Main Street that just supersedes Walt Disney World's Main Street, and it's certainly not the size. You know, I had the Buy Free Project on my show last night on DisTube. Check out the replay on the channel if you're interested. They're great family, great people, great channel. I love them. And they made a comment, and they're 100% right. When you're a Disney World family and you go to Disneyland, you're disappointed at its size.
Yeah.
When you're a Disneylander and you go to Disney World, you're disappointed at its size because your feet hurt because it's so dang big. True?
It is. It's like, wow, you have to walk so much to see everything at Disney World.
We never considered how many steps did we take in Disneyland. When we're at Disney World, we count our steps because it's a massive number, because it's so big. When you can walk from the beginning of Disneyland to the end of Main Street to the castle much quicker than you can at Disney World.
Right.
It's just a massive place, Disney World, compared to Disneyland. You know, when there was that fire, I don't know if you saw the video, there was a fire. You would look up over the fire station at Disneyland in Anaheim, and there was a fire behind it. And everybody wanted to know where the fire was. It's actually in the Jungle Book, because it wraps around so much that the Jungle Book butts up against the very front of Main Street. It's
right.
So compact. It's just
but you can't
different
tell
world.
because they walk you all around and they hide it so well.
Yeah. But I love Disneyland. It is always going to be my favorite park. Not my favorite park to go to. My favorite park to go to is going to be Epcot because I love World Showcase. But Disneyland is my favorite park because it's where I grew up. My mom and my dad took me there all the time. All my early memories are of Disneyland. It's the original park. I have good memories of the Disneyland parking lot that doesn't even exist anymore. That's how much I love that place. I think the biggest knock for me on Disneyland, on Disney World, is the Disneyland Castle. You can't go in. And you talked about this a little bit yesterday.
Right.
Or Saturday, I guess. I remember being shocked you couldn't go into the Orlando Castle.
Right. I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean we have to walk around? Yeah.
There's even in the Disneyland Castle a place that you can walk up, and it's the story of the fairy tale. And I love that. I remember looking for it. I'm like, no, let me go in. Wait, what? Like, I remember being confused.
Right.
That you couldn't do that. My favorite ride in the world is at Disneyland, Indiana Jones. I think that Flight of Passage is probably my favorite ride, and then the Millennium Falcon now. But Disneyland has where Walt Disney World has Dinosaur, which I think is a horrible, boring ride. Disneyland has Indiana Jones, which is the exact same ride on the exact same track, just with a better theme. And so Disneyland has that. I do love Adventureland and Walt Disney World, but I still love Disneyland's Adventureland better. The negative
and
about
you haven't seen the little cantina area now too, the newer part.
The cantina is in Star Wars.
No, not cantina. The
Tropical Hideaway.
You haven't even seen that yet.
I have not. So. That's right. I can't wait. Indiana Jones is totally great. It is my favorite ride. Like, I love Flight of Passage. I love the Falcon. I have not done the new Star Wars ride yet, but Indiana Jones is a great ride. It is spectacular. Really the line is spectacular. I love it all. The theming of it, how it melds right into the Jungle Cruise, is spectacular. The problem with the Adventureland is, again, the size. It's so tight. Mm-hmm. You can't walk through Adventureland and Disneyland without. I mean, social distancing in Anaheim is not going to be a plausible thing in the parks. It's not.
It's just a smaller space.
Yeah. What do you like best about Disneyland? Where does it fit into your favorite parks? For me, it's my favorite park. It's not the one I want to go to, but it'll be my favorite park, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so it does to me, because Disneyland is absolutely my most favorite.
Hey, Resort Budgeting. How are you, buddy?
That's because all my childhood memories are there. You know, Jeff's grandpa worked there.
Hey, ATJ.
I have friends that worked there. You know, that's my castle. That's the castle I grew up, and that was my castle. And Eileen does say it's hers, but
Vipri was on last night, and she's actually said, I was disappointed in the castle, and I went, what? But it's because of the size.
Yeah, it's smaller, but you get to walk
It's
through
not
it.
small. It's
It's not as tall as like.
I will take the
Cinderella.
Disneyland one over the Walt Disney World 1,000%, and it's 100% because I can go inside. Which one do you like better?
Disneyland's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
Yeah, because you can go inside. For me, I always walk. You walk inside. You go through it to get to Fantasyland.
Right. It is like the grand entrance into Fantasyland.
And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
But it's not. It still throws me off. It's just different. I wonder why they didn't do it that way.
I don't know. I've never walked. Yeah, I've never been. I don't know. I've never really gotten close enough to the front of the other castle.
So, Sandy Norris says you can walk through it. Okay, it's different. It's just different. You can't walk up into it. Like there was a what is it? Was it the whose castle is it in New Zealand?
Sleeping Beauty.
So it's Sleeping Beauty's castle. So the Sleeping Beauty story in the book form is there, and you can walk up in it.
You walk through it, and it has like little rooms and windows where you can look in, and it tells the story, and you're walking through it. There's also stores in it. The Bippity Boppity Boo little like it's not the boutique that's in there, but it's a princess store where you can buy princess stuff. And then there's also the coat of arms store.
Yes, that's right. I do.
And then the the Christmas store is right outside. You kind of
it used to be right outside. I think they might have moved that, but the Hitchhiking Bones says it exactly. For anyone who hasn't been to Disneyland, they need to go. It's so worth it. At Disney World was Walt's bigger dream, so both are special. They're very special. I'm not hating on any of them. I love them all, but it's something to be able to say you were where Walt was. I really believe that. You can, so just the Main Street alone, you walk into Main Street and you look left, and there's the room. His room, and the light's on. You guys all know the story, right? And the light was on when Walt was in the park. Light was off when Walt wasn't in the park. Now the light stays on, and it's just. I'm not like a emotional guy in general, but this kind of stuff gets me. I mean, Walt made that for me and my family, and you and your family, and it's just spectacular to be there. I wish he would have seen. I'm almost sad. It's almost part of the why I love Disneyland that I'm sad that Walt never got to see Orlando. I just think it's amazing. Caitlin says, Jeff, I believe they couldn't do a walkthrough because of the Cinderella Castle suite. But yep, you're probably right. I don't know. Yeah, it's different. Yeah, I know you can go through. I guess I'm articulating it differently, but definitely if you go to Disneyland, you need to go straight to that and check that out. But for me, it's Main Street that gets me the most. It really is. Like
I love Main Street.
They've done a good job. People who know Main Street Orlando and then come, they think it's so small. I'll call it more intimate. I don't know. It's just my jam. There's something about where you grew up. You're just going to always have a soft spot for it, and that's how I feel about it. It stands out. Now, the lands are awesome. Again, Adventureland is still my jam. Frontierland is amazing. The Fantasmic, by the way, the Fantasmic show in Disneyland, 20,000 times better than Fantasmic in Orlando. You didn't even know that where Fantasmic was. It's in Hollywood Studios off on the side. We've never even gone to that, but I've watched it on.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
On streams often. It's right there. It's in Disneyland. It's on Tom Sawyer's Island, and it's more a part.
The big dragon comes through, and
it's more part of the park. It's part of the park. It's the story.
It's a main,
of the park.
a main part.
It's amazing. I love it. Sleeping Beauty Castle says. Caitlin says Sleeping Beauty Castle was the best marketing ever. A castle name for a movie that wasn't released until that. Brilliant, right? Right. We were there 1 year ago. Nice. Galaxy's Edge opening. Nice. Yeah, I obviously got to go to Galaxy's Edge open in Orlando. I haven't seen Galaxy's Edge in California yet, but I will. That's cool. Walt laid out Walt Disney World. He never saw it completed, but he did walk the property. Well, that's true, but he didn't see its fruition. Right? That makes it even sadder to me, actually. I don't know. So close. But anyway, I love Disneyland. Some of my favorite memories are Space Mountain and Star Tours and Captain EO. Let me explain. So I don't like Orlando's Tomorrowland very much. And I really can't tell you why. Because I loved Tomorrowland as a kid in California and Anaheim. And Tomorrowland is almost an afterthought for me in Orlando. We don't go there as much. And I don't know why.
Right. It's just kind of we walk through it going somewhere. But it's just different.
When I was a kid, my favorite ride at Disney was Space Mountain. And me and my dad would ride Space Mountain a lot. I remember being there early when Space Mountain just opened. And I don't remember what year Space Mountain opened. 77 pops in my head. I wouldn't swear to it. But being in that line, and it was massive. It was 3 hours long, and it didn't bug me at all. That's how much I loved it. And then the same for Star Tours. When Star Tours opened, I don't know the year of Star Tours opening. I'm sure it was the 80s. But the lines for Star Tours were insane. Like that was the hot ride for so long. It took
forever to get through that.
Yeah. And then Captain EO, which is not even there for a time, was the hot ride. And those were all in the same basic area. It's funny.
That was more of a show. Yeah, it wasn't really a ride.
Well, it was an attraction, sure.
It was.
And I even remember, and again, this is my age, I remember spending time in the arcade at Star Wars, which sounds so dumb
funny.
now.
Yeah, I would be like, I've walked by it many times.
It was part of it was the theming. You know, I was a young boy. It was fun. And it was a massive arcade. It wasn't just like the normal arcade. It was massive and had the best games at the time. And you just couldn't keep up with it because now kids have games in their house that are better than the games you could get then.
Right.
But it was massive. Sure, TTA, yeah, it's funny. I'm not a big people mover guy.
Yeah, we went on it not at Disneyland. Didn't we just do that ride last time we were there? Yeah, that was funny.
People love it.
It was great for sitting.
Yeah. Haunted Mansion, Star Tours for me, Radiator Springs. So yeah, we're DCA. Radiator Springs is in DCA. Disney California Adventure. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But I do want to talk about the Haunted Mansion, and I want to talk about Pirates of the Caribbean. Two of my favorite rides of all time, and I love that they're a little different. I do. The Haunted Mansion. It's interesting. The Haunted Mansion for me has changed. The line's not as long anymore. When I was a kid, you would stand in line for a long time in the Haunted Mansion. Now I'm talking about in Disneyland now. And when you walk in, you walk in by the hearse, right? And then you walk straight into the building 99% of the time. That was never that way when I was a kid. There was always a line to the left, exactly, where we wound back and forth, and it would even take you to the pet graveyard, the pet cemetery in Anaheim. Very different than the one in Orlando. The one in Anaheim used to be, you would see it when you stood in line. And when you stood in line again, so the Haunted Mansion was here to the left. Hey, Russ Stapleton, how are you, buddy? Long time. Hey, Amy, what's going on? How are you? Welcome in. So as you walk into the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland, the line used to be to the left, and it would wrap around, wrap around, wrap around. And as you got to the farthest part to the left, to what would be the back side of the Haunted Mansion, you were up against the wall. That was actually the end of the property. Over the property, you can't tell, but that is, behind the scenes there. And then Anaheim. And the pet cemetery was right there. And it was one of my favorite things. And the line never goes there anymore. There's just never a line for that anymore. So they've taken out the pet cemetery, and some of it is actually backstage now and in other places, which is interesting. Because in Orlando, you come out of the ride to see the pet cemetery.
Yeah.
Whereas in Disneyland, you used to see it pre-show. And then it's a little different. Are you actually going up? Are you actually going down? In the elevator, the Haunted Mansion, they're different. Obviously, in Anaheim, it does one thing, and in Orlando, it does another. In Anaheim, you're actually leaving the park. Like, you're going into the back. The ride, the entire ride is actually under the train, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I do like we'll talk about the Orlando one in a minute or a couple of days, but I do think I like the queue in Anaheim a lot better. Because there's so many interactive things in Orlando that are really fun. Yeah. Just stuff everywhere.
Yeah, definitely more.
But anyway, those of you who've been to both, let me know which one you like better. Do you have a preference on the Haunted Mansion? Which one? Anaheim versus Orlando?
So I really do like the Orlando. There's more to look at when you're waiting. But they don't do the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay there. So because of that, I really like California's.
It is so worth seeing.
The overlay is really neat.
I've told people if you are going to Disneyland and you've never been, you've got to go during the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay because it is worth the price of admission. It
takes you basically just through the movie. And
if you love the movie, and who doesn't?
If you like it.
Certainly my jam. I think that's worth the price of admission. I really do. It's amazing.
Skeleton's in there.
It's the best.
Buddies.
Do you have a preference on Haunted Mansion? Do you like one better than the other? For me, I prefer the Disneyland.
So I like the outside of Disney Worlds, but I like the inside, the actual ride of Disneyland.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Okay, let's move on to the Pirates of the Caribbean. So the Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland holds a huge place in my heart. I swear to you, as a child, the sleeping dream that I had the most that I remember was with me and my grandpa on Pirates of the Caribbean. Such an amazing ride. You start off, first of all, the queue is totally different then too. Not unlike the Haunted Mansion, the queue used to take you on the left. Now you basically walk straight into the building. I remember the Pirates of the Caribbean used to be the ride.
Like you wrap around the back of the building though still. Like the wrought iron, it goes around the side. It depends on how crowded it is, but it does take you around the side of the building.
Well, it's there if you need
Brittany got
it.
her legs stuck in the wrought iron.
That's right. Just Sampson in the house. What's going on? Just Sampson, welcome in. Well, I love it. I remember, so I'm going to talk about what's above the Pirates of the Caribbean at some point, but I loved the line. I did. I didn't mind the line. I loved the line. Once you got in the building, I remember I would feel the air conditioning and I would just love it. And you look across the moat, right? And there's the skeletons and the
pirate
loot.
laying out with the
I
little
love
crab
that.
and the little
I just think it's so much better. I love it. The entryway to the Pirates of the Caribbean in Anaheim just supersedes Orlando by a million. And then boom, you're on the ride and it's instant. And the smell, Jungle Cruise, right? I love the Jungle Cruise, right? The smell is everything. The Blue Bayou restaurant being right there, you can hear the chatter of the people eating. It adds to it. The firefly effect. I was mesmerized. I still am mesmerized by the firefly effect there. Love it. And then you get on the ride and to the left, you're in the bayou, the Blue Bayou, dinner, lunch, whatever they're eating, and then to the left you've got my other grandpa. I had one set of grandparents, my grandpa, my grandma. I had one set. Tiki Man fan in the house. What's going on? So glad you're here. And on the left was, I called him my grandpa. Didn't we all? Didn't everybody?
Grandpa on the porch.
And he's rocking. And it's just this beautiful. It's probably why I love Louisiana. Because it was nighttime in Louisiana, and as a kid, I'd never been to Louisiana. It was so beautiful. It was so immersive. I was in another world in 4 minutes, 6 minutes, however long it took. And I'm on my boat. I'm having a good time with my actual grandpa and my Disney grandpa. Kadani Sean in the house. What's going on, my man? How are you? I got your email. I didn't respond yet. I'll probably respond today, but I'm excited about it. It's so immersive. And then boom, you go through into the darkness and you're in a pirate story.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's so good. And then that first drop and that second drop. And I remember my grandpa at the end, like that. This is a part of it too. The fact that at the end you're down, they drop you down. You're now underneath, right? And so the ride is under there, and the ride's amazing. We can talk about all the scenes and all that. But at the end, it takes you up. And I remember, how is this even possible that I remember it? I remember my grandpa saying, now that because you get scared, you're a little kid, you're going really high, you feel like you're on a roller coaster and you're going to drop. And my grandpa had me going. Again, this is, how many times did I ride this? But I remember it from the first time. It shocks me that this is a thing. And he was making me, I'm holding his hand. How old can I be? I'm tiny. And it goes, whoop, and he got me, and we laughed. It like connected me to him forever. And then the exit scene, you're going and you wrap around the line. I just love it. And we didn't even talk about the ride. Let's be real. The ride is iconic.
Oh, yes. And sometimes Jack's really there.
I do. Have you seen that video?
California.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that it's that often, but he had, Johnny Depp doing that. He's a little less popular right now. He's done some weird stuff. But and one of the things, I mean, I'm going to dive right out of the boat and upstairs. And then right now it's Club 33, but back in the day, upstairs you could go above the Pirates of the Caribbean and go up this beautiful staircase, and you could go there, and they had the art.
I thought it was like an art studio.
It was an art studio. It's, you can't get. I remember being sad the first time I couldn't go up there. They didn't let me up there. And then they were turning it into Club 33. That was one of the places that Walt would use to oversee. He'd show guests. It's why Club 33 is a thing. It was a economic, sponsor. Hey, come check this out. You can watch the parade from here. It's amazing. But we used to go up there, and then they had the art.
Take the stairs up there.
And they still have that art. It's on Main Street now. You can still see the making of the concept art of, they would change it. It was awesome, but now it's Club 33. And so I've been in Club 33 in California. It was just before it was Club 33. But that's so fun. But back to Pirates, all the scenes, the redhead scene, the guys chasing the girls, they've changed that around. Which I
love the guy sleeping with his pig.
The pig, yes. The puppy and
then, the classic dog with the puppies.
And then even at the end when they're just exiting you and they're all banging into each other, the ride vehicles, the fire effect mesmerized me as a kid.
Yeah.
It made me want to learn. Like that was the moment sitting in there. That was where I wanted to be an Imagineer. Like sometimes I wish I had. And yes, Jay, exactly. Then you walk out and you're in New Orleans.
My favorite, New Orleans Square.
Yes.
Love it. So
the beignets, yes.
Beignets and all the pirate store and all that really amazing, that area. I remember the first time we went to New Orleans.
Hi, Sherry. Later, ATGH. Thanks for being here.
That's the first thing I thought of when I was here. I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm at Disneyland. And I was, because they did such an amazing job with that.
I remember we said that a lot. We think about that. That's amazing. What a testament. We're at Cafe Du Monde. We're looking over New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Actually, New Orleans. We're like, wow,
French Quarter.
This is like
and
Disneyland,
like,
which is the opposite. We're supposed to think we're in New Orleans because we've been to one and not the other. That's high praise in my opinion. It's amazing. I love it. I love it.
That's one of my favorite areas. I really love that.
I could just walk around that area, like Liberty Square in Walt Disney World, but in Anaheim, it's New Orleans Square, and it's amazing. I love it. I love all the stuff they've done there. There's so many little things to find. I just love it. I love it a lot.
It's really fun.
I'm gonna get caught up in chat. I've got a little hair blowing in my face here. What's better than walking? Hey, Bill, what's going on, my man? What's better than walking out of the Grand California DVC and into a park?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they haven't built any hotels in Orlando. I so agree. There's talk that they're going to try to do that in Epcot, right? That's he's talking about it at Disney California Adventure. We're going to talk about that one tomorrow. The Grand California is one of the great hotels on the planet. Best soup in a bowl, New Orleans Square. Yeah. My good friend loved mint juleps. I'm not a big mint julep guy, but mint juleps are there. The bread bowl is there in New Orleans Square. The beignets are my jam there. But just sitting down in that area, it's an honor. It's just the best. I've seen it, and you're in New Orleans. It's amazing. And then Frontierville. When I was a kid, if we can move to Frontierville, it was my jam. I was Davy Crockett, or I was playing with Davy Crockett. I remember, and I'm going to talk about Frontierland, and I'm going to talk about Tom Sawyer's Island, because to me it was the same experience. You know, I was a little kid, totally Davy Crockett style. Grandpa would take me, and I would do the shooting gallery game. It was fun. I could do that for hours.
Not me.
It was so interactive.
I watched it.
If you hit it, something would change. It was ahead of its time, and it was like it's amazing. Like if you shot the whatever, then this thing would happen. It wasn't like you were killing an animal. It was you were creating a story.
Yeah, it was like little things you'd hit on the animal, and the animal would move. And
it was so good that they had a couple of them. You had one on the other side, and then just being in the fort and going to Tom Sawyer Island, and my mom would take me to Tom Sawyer Island, and I would play on there for hours. It is another level of fun that I just loved it so much.
Remember the barrel bridge?
I do. I loved it.
Yeah.
I bought a raccoon hat that I had in my room for years. I remember at a time it didn't fit my head, so obviously I bought it when I was very young. But I loved that hat because it was a reminder. Totally hours. I could be on Tom Sawyer Island all day and never want to get off it. It was so much fun. Mom, thank you. I know you're in chat, and I can't imagine how boring it must have been for you to stand there and watch me play and digging in the holes and doing all the things that boys do. It was my jam. Now I outgrew it. You know, I didn't even want to go when I was older, but I'm sad I didn't. I spent hours on the island with friends when I was a kid. Yeah, before me. Yeah, as you played on it too. It's amazing. I remember painting the wall. Oh, very cool, Julie. Very cool. I remember painting the wall on Tom Sawyer Island. I just loved it. I thought the people who manned the they're not boats. What are those called? The vehicles that take you over. It's not a boat. It's a.
No, it's like a flat thing.
Yeah, there's a name for it.
To get it across.
Very iconic.
A ferry. It's kind of like a ferry.
I remember loving that, and then
raft maybe. Just
we call them rafts. You're right. That is what they are. When I ended up reading Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn in high school or junior high or whenever some mean teacher made me read it, I didn't love it, but I certainly loved that they're just telling the Disney story. And I didn't equate one with the other, right? I didn't know that Disney took it. And then the Mark Twain, the actual riverboat.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I haven't been on that in a while.
Oh, I did it. And I actually do think they did a really good job with that in Orlando, but I just love all that. Frontierville was my jam. Getting up in those forts and just running around like a lunatic, so much fun. So much fun. And then we got to talk about some of the rides at Disneyland. Raft, yeah, it was a raft.
Yeah.
You could possibly connect Beach Club to Epcot. Yeah, like you know, there's a lot of things you can do probably. I mean, Boardwalk, isn't Boardwalk right there? Don't you kind of come around? I don't know. I don't know the details of the spacing, but they're talking about the the hotel in the front supposedly gonna. I don't know. There was some consideration there, and I'm not really sure about that, but I do think it's iconic to do that. Frontierland was amazing, but anyway, so we talked a little bit about the Main Street. We talked a little bit about Tomorrowland, just a little bit. We talked about Adventureland. We've talked about Frontierland, Fantasyland. I think in California, Anaheim supersedes Orlando's also by leaps and bounds. I really, really do, and I think it's the connection to the castle. There's something about the It's a Small World ride that just makes me want to dismiss Orlando's Fantasyland. Small World in California,
It's
that ride
different.
is not, you shouldn't even call it the same thing.
It's not.
It's not the same thing. Inside, it's an attempt to be the same thing, but a not good attempt. I wish they would take it out of Orlando. I do. My grandma's favorite ride was It's a Small World. Jersey Mike in the house, what's going on? So glad to see you. The facade, the line of It's a Small World, the line is better than the entirety of the whole thing in Orlando. Do you disagree?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely different. I mean, there's not boats out front swirling around.
Boats out front and the clock
and the big clock and all the things to watch.
The clock alone.
Yeah, it's not even close.
I think that another thing that is worth a trip all the way out to California is at Christmas time. It's a Small World, the facade lit up when they kick off the lights. That's spectacular.
And it all moves.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's spectacular. And in Orlando, you just walk into, it's like you're walking into a mall. I don't understand it.
A mall. It's different.
So I remember being, this is wrong. The line was zoop, zoop, and I'm on. And I know the line's part of the event in California.
Yeah.
And
there's like a round platform that you
painting the roses red. What's going on? A long time no see.
The platform even it like spins with you as you're getting on the boat, and it's all outside.
And the girl or the guy up in the little crow's nest talking to you, and
yeah.
I love it. It's just a different ride. I love the one in California, and I don't have time to waste on it in Orlando.
I mean, I love the one in California, and I like the one in Orlando. I would still go on it.
I'm turning this more into a comparison than I planned, but to continue the comparison, the Peter Pan ride, one of my all-time favorite rides in California, it's very different than the one in Anaheim. It's very different. One you're looking at Peter's perspective, one you're looking at a more of a God perspective down on it. But iconic. But I will say this: the line in Orlando for Peter Pan is awesome.
Yeah.
Way better. Right across from the SeaWorld, Small World. But for me, getting back to Disneyland, it's the fact that Walt was there, and it's the fact that I grew up there. It really is. What's your favorite thing about Disneyland?
I would say how small it is. Like it's very.
Which is weird because people complain about that.
I know they don't like it, but I guess that's just because I was raised there. But like, I have it memorized. Like I know where every little niche is and every little like extra thing is, and I can get to it quickly. Like the other parks are just so spread out. You're walking forever to go anywhere.
Sherry says, I love the Tom Sawyer paddle wheel boat here in St. Louis on Mississippi. I do too. Jay says, have you seen the Tomorrowland? Have you seen the movie Tomorrowland with George Clooney? Included scenes with Small World. I am the only one on the planet who I think will admit this. I love that movie.
I did like that movie.
I love that movie. I wanted to collect the pins. I loved the Dreamer story of that movie. I'm not even a George Clooney fan, and I love that movie. The girl, I can't think of her name, but she did a great job.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I love the idea of that movie. Very true to the if you dream it, you can believe it kind of thing. Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain's awesome. I love Splash Mountain. Yes, the Peter Pan queue in Disney World is great. Too bad they don't have it. Yeah, that's true. It's Joey's World. I have a Tomorrowland pin. There you go. I don't think I do.
Reagan has one or two of them.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I love that whole story. I love that, It is. It's true. It is a true story. I'll say it. You can have a little secret society and just do great things. That's what we need freaking right now. People don't go shopping at Target on your own. Do something good. I mean, it's a kind of a beautiful attitude. I love it. I love it to death. So yeah, that's a great movie. So for me, Disneyland is the nostalgia of Walt and the nostalgia of me. My mom and dad took me there when I was a kid. Walt was there. Main Street, Disneyland is my jam.
For sure.
If I could do anything, spend 4 hours anywhere, it would be there, or 2 hours, or 20 minutes, or whatever. I said it earlier. I even have fond memories of the parking lot in Disneyland. I mean, me and you couldn't find our car once.
Yeah.
Found it with a flat tire that day.
Found it.
And it wasn't a good thing then, but I remember going across Disneyland to Disneyland Hotel with my grandparents. Great memories of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. If you're a Disney nut and you've never been to Disneyland, you need to make the pilgrimage. You don't need 5 days, but 1 or 2, and you can do them both in 2 easily. Certainly, you can do it in 1 if you're in a hurry. I wouldn't do that, but the fact that DCA is right across the walkway too, like you can walk from Disneyland to DCA
it's awesome.
and back again, and you're not wasting time.
Right. Like when we used to park hop, you didn't have to like physically really go anywhere. You just went out the exit and into the next one. Yeah. It was super fast. Like my kids and I, we park hopped multiple times a day yeah. between the 2.
Start up in Disneyland and in Disneyland, but spend a lot of time in DCA was not a thing that
right.
people still do it.
The entrance ways are just a little walkway.
A couple hundred yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot because you basically could easily do 2 parks all day long.
You don't have to go to your car and
right.
drive somewhere else or whatever. Yeah.
Get on some sort of transportation.
Yeah, hitchhiking wouldn't take you for that. Yeah, smash the like button. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm enjoying this because I'm talking about my favorite thing, Disneyland. Did I miss anything? Did I miss any lands? I think it really comes down to, the nostalgia of it. I mean, I just keep saying that, but walking up to the entrance of Disneyland, walking under, the train, seeing the train station, and walking under it and reading the plaques and going out into Main Street. I mean, it's great at both parks. It really is. It's spectacular at the Magic Kingdom. It's spectacular at Disneyland. And that's the thing. Disneyland has Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom and Disneyland are the 2 alike parks. And then you have all the other parks. And for in Anaheim, you have DCA. Where in Orlando, you have 3 other full parks. So that's why, for me, Orlando will always supersede it. If I'm taking my kids, if I'm taking my grandkids in the future, I'm going to go to Orlando, one versus the other. But if you're a Disney nut, you've got to go to Disneyland. For sure. I mean, even the treehouse. We didn't even talk about the treehouse. It used to be the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. Now it's Tarzan.
Now it's Tarzan. But we grew up running all over that.
You know what? And thank you, Bloomin' Cheese, in Toontown. We have some great memories of Toontown. We have some memories of Toontown.
Mostly work. So Toontown was not my favorite area, personally. It just wasn't. I thought it was kind of fun to take kids to it. But it was never, I never was, in love with anything there. But the kids loved it. So I went a lot for field trips.
When she says the kids, she's not talking about our kids in this
case.
Not our kids. So we run after school programs, think Boys and Girls Clubs, because then it was Boys and Girls Clubs. And we would take kids from the Boys and Girls Club. I would drive the bus. Mm-hmm. She and a couple other staff would come with, and we'd take 80 other people's kids and run around Disneyland. And Toontown was their jam.
It was.
And it was just pure joy the whole time. So many things to do. Pull on this and it makes a noise. Right. So fun.
Also for us being running the field trips, it had a very small entrance and exit was all in the same spot. So we could block off with staff members the entrance exit, and the kids could kind of just have fun, and we would be able to watch to make sure no one could get out. Except for
that one who we just let go.
Yeah, you let him go. I chased him down.
I wish he was still going. Yeah, that was a funny story. So you were we should tell this story. So we're on the ride. What was it? Chippendale's
treehouse.
Yeah, and you play in the treehouse and you jump down a slide. So we would take these kids on these field trips, and they would know us well. It was an after-school program or a summer program. The kids would know us well. They would be with us more than their parents. They were with us from 8 in the morning until 7 at night. So they knew us well. So we would take those kids on a field trip. And we wouldn't let somebody, you promote that you're going to Disneyland, people notice. Every now and then you'd get one parent who signed up their kid just to go to Disneyland with us. And I actually remember talking to this parent, you need to take your kid to Disneyland. we're taking our kids to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And she was not going to have it. You can't not make me, blah, 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 blah. You're taking my kid to Disneyland. So she paid her fee and she did the things. And what we're going to do, right?
We took her kid to
So
Disneyland.
we don't know Jimmy. Jimmy doesn't know us. I don't know what his name was. I'm going to call him Jimmy for this story. And he was not excited to be on the bus for 2 hours with people he didn't know. He didn't know any of these kids. He's scared of everything. And I'm picking on this kid. He's an adult now, so it is what it is. So, but I'll never forget this. I probably shouldn't. You might not like me, but that's okay. So I'm at the bottom of the slide because when you have little kids, they go down a slide. You catch the little guys so they don't fall on their face.
Right.
So I'm just the guy. Hey, you're okay. Hey, you're okay. And then they laugh and they run back up and then they do it again. Right. That was my post.
Right.
Not the hardest job. Right. And so this kid, I don't know his name. He lands at my feet. And I don't know. He didn't hurt himself, but one of those things.
And
where
I'm behind you about
good 30 yards or 20 yards.
Feet. Yeah, just because I was like the extra cover.
Well, yeah, you were more the
I
security. Hold on. You get your turn. So he lands and he's startled. I'm like, hey, buddy, you're
I'm
okay.
watching this, going, oh.
And that scared the crap out of him. He doesn't know.
Yeah.
I'm the guy in charge. I drove you to the Disneyland, but I'm not dad.
He
right?
doesn't remember.
He doesn't know
Jeff
who the heck I am. I'm in my shirt, but this is what you get, right? When you drop your kid off, he doesn't know. So he thinks now I'm a crazy guy trying to, I don't know what he thinks. So he takes off running. I'm like, all right, see ya, Billy. And he goes right by you. And I remember the look on your face. You're like, you're going to make me get him, right?
You just let him go. Like,
I'm not going to grab him.
See this kid look at Jeff. His mouth opens and he starts,
So if he's terrified of me, what am I going to do? Grab him? I could have.
Well, that's what I had to do.
Well,
so I'm
less chance you go to jail if you do it than me.
Flying through Toontown. I am sprinting after him. He's screaming like someone's going to kill him. Oh. Everybody's looking at us because it looks like I'm chasing down a kid that's terrified running away from me. It was great. I finally caught him and I'm like, hey, we're right here. You came with us, remember?
I'm a YouTuber. And if I could go, I wasn't a YouTuber then, right? But because this wasn't a thing. But if I could, there's those scenes in your life you wish you could get.
Yeah.
I wish I could have got that one. And just videoed my wife chasing this lunatic kid. I mean,
and all the people thinking I was trying to kill him or something. It was crazy.
Just Nancy, I appreciate you saying that. I'm feeling a little slow today. I got to be honest. So that really makes my day. That was nice that you said that. More bang for your buck at Walt Disney World, but diehard fans should. I agree. Yeah. So if I'm taking my kids, that's what I tried to say earlier. I'll follow up on that thought. If I'm taking my wife, if I'm taking my kids, if I'm taking my grandkids for value, for return on the investment, for return on the DVC points, whatever, it's Walt Disney World. There's 4 parks. Enough said, right? There's nothing else to say.
Well, and Disneyland doesn't provide transportation, doesn't provide like a lot of things that if you're taking a big group or your family.
Disneyland is a locals park. People don't understand that, except for the locals do. When you go to Disney World and you spend a week, some people take 10 days and they spend that time. And I've had friends that they've gone like 5-day trips to Disneyland. I'm like, you don't need 5 days.
Yeah.
By day 3, you're going to go, oh, how do I get to San Diego? Like it's great, but you don't need that much time. It's just the massiveness of it. It's just unrelated in size. I have seen old footage of Disneyland Autotopia. That's a great one. I have such good memories of that.
Yeah.
When there was no middle guide track and the kids would crash. So funny, right? Well, they actually had mermaids. They had those iconic pictures of actual So if you were a pretty girl in your, college girl, you could get a job, put on a bikini top, put on a thing and sit on a rock. And that, first of all, that scares me. If they fall in the water, what would have happened? I guess they were probably really good swimmers. But, I'm a dad of daughters. It makes me nervous. But I love those iconic pictures of old, that whole Autotopia. And we didn't even talk about the submarine. What a great iconic ride that is.
When I was a kid.
And then, you know what, before, I've got to get to one of the best things about Disneyland, which I can't believe we didn't talk about already. One of my favorite rides. I collect stuff from it. If there's a pin about this, I collect it. I love it. I love it. I love it. The Matterhorn. Mm-hmm. The Matterhorn used to be, you could get on both sides. There's 2 different tracks. It is 2 different rides. It's 2 different tracks. And you pick the line you'd get in, and it would wrap around the entire mountain 2 and 3 and 4 times. Uh-huh. They used to have, I don't know if they still do, they'd have the alpine guys climbing it. I don't think they do that anymore.
They would have like Yeah.
And they have the Skyway. They used to have that. It would go across Disneyland. That was iconic. They stopped.
The
doing
guys
that,
would be climbing the side of the mountain with lederhosen.
Well, and then the Skyway would go right through it. As a little boy, that was one of my favorite things to do. I would go from one side of the park to the other, which seemed like it was a big deal. Now it's not. It takes 8 minutes, but
I know.
But it would take you on a ride, and you would go through a mountain. Are you freaking kidding me? And I went through the mountain, and the people, the Matterhorn was going by, and you could see he's abominable snowman. Abominable snowman. My mouth doesn't want to work. See, I need coffee. And by the way, yes, the iconic trivia question: is there really a basketball hoop up there? Yes, there really is. It was a staff area, break time, and workers just put one up. Who brought up a hoop all the way up? That's so crazy. I love that. But it's amazing. It's amazing. Mom says, plus if you're interested in Universal, it's close to Walt Disney World, but it's hours away in California. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Shame. Oh, hold on. Downside Diva, what's going on? Shame on that parent, right? I've worked for Boys and Girls. Oh yeah, where are you at? I grew up in Southern California. I worked in the Boys and Girls Club of San Marcos in Southern California, and then I ran San Diego also, and then I ran the Boys and Girls Club of San Antonio Pass near Palm Springs, and then we came out here in North Texas. So which clubs have you been at? Shame on that parent. I have worked at Boys and Girls Clubs in 2 states for 15 years, and the thought of a parent, yeah, I fought with her. I told her this is a horrible idea. That's probably why I decided to let the kid run. I gotta be honest. I don't want you to die, but no. I mean, we're gonna keep. Come on, he's in Disneyland. Where's he gonna go? I know where he's gonna end up. He wasn't gonna leave, but downside Diva. We could have a whole conversation on that. I mean, what a irresponsible, dumb decision. It was 100%. We were taking kids to Disneyland, including the transportation there and back, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We ended up having dinner at that little Carl's Jr. right outside of Disneyland. Right outside. Actually, that was a really fun memory. All the kids, you take over a store. That was fun. But it's because you have a relationship with the kids. If it's just Joey Smith who you don't know, it's not a good experience for the kid. Right. I hope by the end of the day he made fun, but I have my doubts. I can tell you he never came back. He was never a regular member. She was just trying to get a deal because we were taking the kids for less than you could go on your own, and she was just trying to throw her kid on a bus, and that's what she did. Whatever. Parents are parents are parents. Parents are parents. Whatever. Disneyland is a classic, I will say, as an autistic ADHD kid. Disneyland could be more overstimulating since the space is smaller. For disabled families, I recommend. I'm sure that's true. Again, one of my daughters is on the spectrum too. She didn't have any issues with it, but I know lots of people. Am I right? Yeah. Right.
She does pretty well there. If it's not super loud, like the crowds, she can kind of focus down or look down and kind of get herself distracted on that. Yeah. But if the sound is kept pretty mild, she's definitely
like, I'm the perfect dad for her in this. I love that she's having fun, but I also love that if she wants to break. I'm like, yeah, let's go, whatever. I'm cool with sitting somewhere. It really, like at Disney World, so a couple times you guys have ridden. I don't know why it's been this place. It's turned into our spot now. So sometimes she just wants to sit and relax. Well, yeah. So do I. They have got food. I'm a foodie. I like it. You kidding me? So like at Hollywood Studios, which is not Disneyland, but often it seems that when you guys go on Tower of Terror, she's ready for a break. Oh,
yeah, she does not like that ride.
Has she ever even been on it?
Yeah, she does not like it.
Oh, well, that's what it is then. Okay.
We've tried it once in California and once in Walt Disney World, and she was 0. We'll never go on it again.
Well, that's why that. And I guess I should have mentioned that. I love that ride, but the last 2 or 3 times I haven't done it because we go pin trade and get a little snacky snack at the.
And that's kind of her time to where you guys get a table and you sit and she can kind of
She plays with her pins. We go buy her some pins.
Calm
and she
down
plays with her pins.
Yeah, let her brain rest.
I love it. It's a win for me. And come on, I'm getting older. I don't want to walk all day.
Yeah, I mean, but for people who, don't like to be packed in close to other people, Disneyland definitely they have to they pack it in.
I would say you get to sample lots of deodorants, and lack thereof.
I remember as teenagers being there, and you would have to move, and it felt like you were herding a cow being herded.
Especially through
move because it was just
in Adventureland, and anytime you're anywhere near a parade, before or after a parade. So when I was a kid, I loved the parades for one reason. everyone would go one place, we would go the other.
That's when
I didn't love parades except for the fact that it gave me a chance to go ride some rides. We would try to do 2, and if we could get 3 cool rides in during a parade, like that was our game we did. I like the parades more now, but I don't like the mass people of it. So Disneyland's definitely packed in, Caitlin. You're totally right. Streets of America at Hollywood Studios was my place. Yeah, that's where we did it. That's exactly right. That's where and it's funny you say that. I should have known. She doesn't like it. I know that now, but I always thought it was just, I thought it was more about a snack and a Disney pin and hanging with Dad, but you're totally right. You're totally right. Yeah, we remember us mooing. Oh my gosh, we only have 10 more minutes. This went so fast. Did we leave anything out on Disneyland? I knew the Disneyland. I thought about doing this one last, thinking this one the last one. But when I set it up last night, I'm like, no, I'm doing Disneyland. I just wanted to
talk about Bengal barbecue.
Oh my gosh, you're right. My mouth, isn't that Pavlovian right there? Is that Pavlovian? She said Bengal barbecue. Okay, I'm actually going to tell a story about Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom as it relates to Bengal barbecue.
There isn't one?
Correct, and I didn't know that. So I'm walking around Adventureland, and my family's hungry, and we're in the right space. When my family says to me in Orlando, hey, let's take a break, I'm hungry, I'm like, yeah, Bengal barbecue. So, and it's the first time we're at Walt Disney World, I don't know, a couple of years back, right? And I'm like, let's find Bengal barbecue. And I'm looking around and I see it. And one of you has the map, and I'm just like, can somebody find it on the map? And I think it was you. I think I can't find it. I'm like, well, that's stupid. And I was probably getting frustrated. I'm like, I'll just go ask that nice gentleman or that cute cast member. I'll just go find somebody that looks like they work here. And I did. And I said, Mr. Smith, Mr. cast member, hey, how are you? Bengal barbecue is my jam. Where is it? Oh, I don't know anything about it. Like, well, okay. In my head, I'm like, well, maybe he's new. So I go to the next one. I go to the next one. I remember at the end, I'm like with this young, sweet girl. I actually remember what she looks like because she just looked at me like, I really am trying to help you, idiot. We don't have it. That was what she was trying not to project, but she was so sweet. But I'm like, you don't know what Bengal barbecue is, do you? And I remember this conversation way more than I should. No. Is there any chance there's a restaurant here called Bengal Barbecue and you've not heard of it, but it's in Adventureland? So no, there's no chance. Because they're not supposed to tell you, hey, dummy, stop it. Yeah. And it broke my heart. And that's probably the final nail in the Disneyland will always be my jam over Walt Disney World. But Bengal Barbecue is right across from the Indiana Jones ride. The shopping connected to Bengal Barbecue, and they've actually expanded Bengal Barbecue now. There's some seating in there, which I haven't been back since I've done that. But it took away some of that shopping. But that was my favorite shopping because it's Adventureland, Jungle Cruise, Indiana Jones shopping. Like Jungle Cruise, Adventureland, Indiana Jones shopping all in the same room. Take my dollars. Yeah. I will be, what is that? An indentured servant? Just let me work there. Is that what that? I don't know. Maybe that's an emperor. I'm not sure what an indentured servant is. I think that's the right thing. A serf. How about that? I could have been a serf.
There you go.
In the medieval times. I would have loved that. And right across from that. So Bengal barbecue is meat on a stick. It's sweet meat on a stick. It's spicy meat on a stick. And apparently they put veggies on a stick for weirdos like her. But it is so good. I actually asked the staff member once, or the cast member once, is there any place I can get these recipes? And he said, no, hold on. And he went to the back and he got a piece of paper and he handed it to me and it had all the recipes. Remember that?
Yeah.
So awesome. My mouth is seriously watering. I'm not exaggerating.
And the tiger tails. We would get like an order of the tiger tails, which is just like a bread stick, but it has like cheese put on top of it. And you would dip that in that spicy sauce.
The hot sauce. Yeah. So that they have a spicy one and a sweet one. I love them both. The hot one, oh my, I swear to you, my mouth is watering right now. It would get, you're so happy you're getting your nose is running and I want it right now. And yes, the tiki room. We can't leave out the tiki room. We're almost done. The tiki room, iconic.
Yes,
I love it so much. And I do want to check out. You mentioned Tropical Serenade.
Hideaway.
Tropical Hideaway. Yeah, I've not done that yet, and it does look like my jam.
Yeah, you're gonna love it.
Bao buns, and right there we exit Jungle Cruise, and the theming of that looks like my jam.
You can get Dole Whip with bacon on it there.
It's like they did that for me.
They did.
That's right. Walt did that for me. He just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Disneyland is my jam. I want to know from you guys in chat. We're almost out of time. This went so fast. What is your favorite thing about Disneyland? Or if you have, thank you, Bloomin' Cheesin'. How could I not say that? Great moments with Mr. Lincoln. My grandma loved that so much. I would have been sad had I not talked about that. Bloomin' Cheesin', you just saved me. You saved me from a day of sadness. Main Street is inspired by Walt's hometown in Marceline, Missouri. Yeah, my mom actually was there recently. We did that too. Kept looking for those kebabs, right? We really enjoyed lunch at Cafe Orleans 1 year ago. So wonderful. I totally agree. Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln is one of the great animatronics in history. Walt created Abe. It's unbelievable. Like, does it stand up to our technology today? Probably not, but it's so amazing. And I don't know. I love Walt for it. Like, I'm mad that he's not around anymore because I want to give him a hug. Great Moments with Lincoln. And obviously, I haven't even done the Presidential Hall or whatever in Orlando. I really want to do that.
Yeah.
It was closed the first time we were over there. I think it was right after the it was right after the election, and they always close it down to put in the new Trump, in this case, the new president. So we didn't get to do it that time, and I just don't think it's been one of the things. I also never did the Muppet thing right outside. I've not watched the show there, and I love the Muppets, and I love American history, so I need to do that. But as it relates to Disneyland, yeah, the Tiki room, just spectacular.
Yeah.
We really enjoy. Oh, where to go? Let's see. Characters walking around. That's another one. Sandy, great call. The characters walking around and interacting in Disneyland is different than in Walt Disney World. In Walt Disney World, you get in line and you stand there and you wait for them. In Disneyland, they cruise around.
Yeah,
and it's definitely a better experience. You probably couldn't do it that way in Orlando, and I don't know why I think that, but I do think that. But that is better. That is amazing.
Mostly because then they're acting more, and they're being silly, and they're interacting, and you just see more of the actual character.
Downsized Diva, exactly. By the way, that's a fun name to say. I'm just going to keep saying that, the Downsized Diva. That is fun. I need Disneyland in my life. I have only been to Walt Disney World Orlando about 1,000 times. Go. It's worth it. Again, you don't need a million days. Flights are low right now. Go. I mean, you can't right now, obviously, but go. It is so something you want to do. And if I can be very specific, go at Christmas, because the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay and the I keep wanting to call it SeaWorld, the Small World. Why do I keep calling it? I mean, I guess the Small World overlay, the light show. When they turn on the lights for the Christmas lights at Disneyland, you can stand out right outside. You can have not the monorail. You can have, I can't even talk. The Matterhorn behind you, and Small World in front of you, and the lights come on, and if you love Christmas lights, boom, it's like nothing else on the planet. My favorite part about Disneyland is the packed history. It is the park, and my first trip was the week the California Adventure opened. Wow, we were there when California Adventure first opened. Yeah. Quite a bit. We loved the California Adventure. It's changed a lot.
In the beginning, though, we were like, wow, I don't know how they're going to get people to keep coming to this park, because you could do everything, get there in the morning, and be done by like lunchtime, and there was nothing left to do. But it has grown and changed and developed. Now I love it.
Later, just Samson. I appreciate you being here. You have a great one. See you at Pat's thing, probably. Great Moments. Yep. Great Moments is awesome. There's no underground area in Disneyland for the characters pop up. Yeah, that's true. They're still overfiling planes. They're still overfiling planes.
Overfilling.
Oh, overfilling. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what we're talking about there. Yeah. So I want to go. So being a Disney fan and being a YouTube wannabe, Disney is right across the street, obviously, from the Anaheim convention. They've got VidCon too. I couldn't care less about VidCon, but VidSummit I want to go to someday. I picture and D23. I'd love to do D23. Yeah. I'm sure I'll be out there again for some events. Also, she's got family out in Southern California. They usually go once a year. Usually I stay home for that trip, but I don't know.
Usually we're there right now, but not.
Yeah, that's right.
This is our time we go.
Yeah.
But we have to wait for everything to open back up.
So I hope you guys had fun going down memory lane with me, talking about Disneyland. It is my favorite park. It's not the park I go to. If I can only go to one, I would clearly go to Epcot. So it's my favorite park in that sense. But if you're a Disney nut, if you're 1/10 the Disney nut that I am, you must go. Yeah, I want to go to Disney 23 and D23 and make a trip of it. I really want to go to D23. I thought about it last time, but the time and the money wasn't there. I thought about trying to do the next time, but everybody who I knew went to D23. It was standing in the line too much. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I may have changed my mind on that, but probably more likely to go to VidSummit, to be honest. But that's a whole other conversation. Tomorrow we're going to be doing DCA, and she's going to have to do a lot of the talking because I know old DCA. She knows new DCA. I've not been to Cars Land at all, except for through the internet. Thank goodness. So we're going to be talking about that. Gaston, everyone, say hi to Gaston. Downside D's Epcot is one of my favorites. I miss the food and wine. Epcot's my jam. World Showcase is my jam. Food and Wine is my jam. And we'll be talking about Epcot one day this week. Disneyland's today. DCA, Disney California Adventure tomorrow. We're going to be doing a new one every day for the week, ending on Saturday at one of the parks in Orlando. Did you have fun?
Yeah,
you rushed.
I did.
You were.
I'm starting to feel tired.
I bet you are. You were up kind of late, and you were up super early.
Yeah.
I bet you are. And we got a full day,
I was
but
out in the parking lot running around sweating, and it
2
wasn't
days in
even
a row
light
too.
yet.
You did that yesterday.
Yeah,
You got. She's been hard. I've been having a weekend on my couch, and she's been busting her rear end. So you deserve a break. Everything for work I've got to do is computer today. So we'll talk that through in a minute. But love you all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel. Members of the channel in green, love you. Everybody who's in the chat, I love you. Everybody who's new, thank you so much. Moderators, thank you. Unapologetically Gomes, long time no see. How are you? Hope you're doing well. I can't wait for tomorrow too. Bloom and Cheese, and thanks for saying that. Disney California Adventure. I really, really loved that park. And now it's a new and better park, they say. I can't wait to. We're going to have a different opinion on a few things, probably. Maybe not. We'll see. Today was fast because of the Sonic energy drink, right? It wasn't bad. I'm not going to
We didn't actually drink much of it yet, but
lie. Watermelon drinks are good.
different.
I don't think they taste like watermelon, but whatever they think watermelon tastes like, I like that.
See, to me, it's too much. I like real watermelon.
Pretty
this
sweet.
tastes like watermelon candy.
Yeah, there you go.
Like
It's like, yeah, I agree with that. It's probably too sweet.
I like watermelon with salt on it, not really sugary watermelon.
Tiki Man fan, no, thank you. LSU man, mom, thank you. I apologize for my mouth. My brain and my mouth are not on the same speed today.
We should have some more.
Unapologetic Gomes, I appreciate you seeing me, even if it was the last minute. Myers and the Mouse, I think, is back. I think they're back from their trip. I think they're going to be live right now. I know sometime this week they'll be back, if not today. You might want to check them out. Pat Flynn goes live right now. I'll probably be in both. Actually, we're going to go downstairs. Actually, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to have some coffee, and I'll jump in one of the streams. Have a great day. DCA day tomorrow. I just appreciate your time today. I really do. Thanks for having a little bit of time with us today. Have the best day ever. Go wash your hands. And the world is crazy right now. So if you're a creator, keep creating. Create positivity for each other. Fear never wins. Don't let it. Jersey Mike, thanks for being here. Gaston, thanks for being here. I think that's it. I think I'm going to leave them alone now. What do you think?
Yep, let them go.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Have the best day ever. Later.
See you guys.
Have fun.